The Century Media Podcast.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Howarth from In This Moment, and welcome to the Century Media Podcast On The Record. Our new album is called The Dream. We came up with a title for The Dream. Actually, Maria came up with the title. We were thinking, what can we call this record? Everyone was kind of timid about throwing names out there, and Maria came up with the idea of The Dream. And everyone kind of immediately liked the idea of calling the album The Dream because of several things. Maria likes it because the dream to her is like the Alice in Wonderland, it's a dreamy vibe of, rabbits running around and, the Mad Hatter and weird stuff that's just off the wall, kind of like, in alter reality. And we also liked it, I liked it because to me, the power of dreams, dreaming about something, and the fact that I dreamed about playing, with Ozzy on tour and actually got to do that. And that just if you dream something and believe in it enough, anything can happen. Dreams can come true. That kind of vibe. So that's how we came up with that. And, all of us kind of liked it for different reasons, but it all kind of works in that same way. So that's The Dream. That's what it means to us. We did the record with Kevin Churko, who actually did the last Ozzy record. And when we knew we were going to do a record, we just didn't know who the producer was going to be. And our manager, Blasco, who actually plays bass in Ozzy Osbourne, had actually worked with Kevin on the Ozzy record and really liked him, and he was pitching Kevin to us a lot. And I knew that I liked the Ozzy record a lot, and so I was gung-ho about it, but we didn't really know too much about Kevin besides that. So we did a trial thing with Kevin to see how it was going to work out, and did one song in a 3-day period that turned out to be Forever. And we fell in love with Kevin. He's an amazing, super talented producer with so much mad genius in his mind that we just trusted everything he wanted us to do, and we just worked so well together that the whole album turned out. Forever kind of set the stage for how the album was going to be, and we loved him and the way he worked, so that turned out great. We did the album in Vegas with Kevin at Kevin's house. He had just moved into a new, bigger house, and so we moved into his old house, which was a big house, and we were so stoked. Normally we would be at a Motel 6, doing our recording and then going to the studio every day, whereas in this situation we lived in the house, made our own food, recorded right there in his little studio he had there, and it came out just to be an amazing situation for us because, he had a pool, and it was very conducive to creativity in writing the songs, and so Vegas is where we did it, and it was awesome. We had about 15 songs. We went into the studio with Kevin, and we had started working on these songs at the end of the Ozzy tour. During the tour, ideas were starting to come out, and we're talking demo ideas, riffs, and maybe a chorus. And Maria had little jingles to go over some of the stuff. And we just kept doing that throughout about a 4-month period before we went in with Kevin, and just any idea was taken and considered. Nothing was thrown out that's not heavy enough or anything like that. It was always, let's try this. Okay, cool, let's try it. And everyone worked on it, and we just put together the best way we thought we could do it, on our own in demo format, and brought that into Kevin. And then Kevin went through everything with us, and we picked the best of the best, and then made what we thought was good even better. And there were songs that we had no idea were going to be on the album that ended up being our favorite songs. And this is coming from Kevin saying that's great, whereas I was maybe thinking before that wasn't that great. But everything came out really, really good, and we just used that process of picking the best of the best to whittle everything down to about 12 songs. And some came together really, really quickly and easily, and some were a little bit more challenging. But the whole process was very smooth because of Kevin Churko and the way that he works with the band, kind of bringing us together and pulling the best out of each of us. We had an overall vibe for the whole record, even though every song is an individual song. We wanted everything to kind of fit the vibe of The Dream, which is, like I said before, different meanings for everybody, but just to have this overall flow and feel for the record to be kind of dreamy. And we feel like we've done that. The songs, they're all individual songs. Some are real heavy, some are real light. They all kind of work together in an album format to be, a one thing, which is cool. And the artwork, again, The Dream is the name of the album. We didn't know what we were going to do. We had some ideas. Maria had some ideas of how we wanted to have the band on the cover, but we wanted it to be like The Dream. And Anthony Clarkson, who's done artwork for us before, amazing artist, came up with this phenomenal cover artwork. And once we saw the cover, I had the idea of maybe making it kind of like a storybook with chapter titles and having each song kind of be part of a chapter, in the Dream book, which is like an old parchment type storybook. That kind of vibe we used within the artwork to kind of make it all kind of work together. We're really happy with how the whole thing came out, and can't wait for you guys to all hear it. Hopefully you're going to love it. But it's a very genuine record that there was no guidelines or limitations on what we were going to do on this record. We did exactly what we wanted to do, exactly what came out of us at that time, at that moment in time, which was after the Ozzy tour. And Kevin Turco helped bring us all together and helped guide us to this point to making this record. And, I hope you guys like it. It's an amazing record, and we're really happy and proud of it. And hope to see you guys next time. Go check it out, September 30th, The Dream. Later.
Thank you, Chris. Without further ado, let's hear the new single from that album, making its podcast premiere. It's Forever, right here on the Century Media Podcast.
Hey, this is Maria.
This is Jesse.
This is Chris.
This is Blake.
And this is Jeff.
From
In This Moment.
And you're listening to
The Century Media Podcast.